Hello friends, it's time for another Zyori vlog. This brings us to vlog number 9. I know in the last vlog I was talking about doing them on Monday mornings, and it occurred to me yesterday after we had casted for about 3 hours that, oh crap, I never did a vlog this morning. So here we are, bright and early on this fine Tuesday, August 14th, 2012. How you doing? Not a lot of groundbreaking material this week, yet again. Basically, I've been living the Dota life. Lots of Dotes going around. That's pretty much been the way of it. I've been casting with Kawa. We just completed day 2 of the Razer Mini Madness. We have day 3 actually coming up today. Starts at 12 o'clock noon here on the East Coast, and for those of the members in the tournament, a lot of them are in Asia, so very late night for them, but it is going to be nice midday casting for Kawa and myself. Dota 2 casting, I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of reflect on Dota 2 casting, as well as talk about some of this beautiful hardware we have here. It's actually not new. I've had this boom stand for quite some while. I know I actually got some messages a few months ago when I first started doing video things. People saying, where's your microphone? How do you have this mic'd up? I had the cute little snowball here just plop down on my desk, and it's actually designed to be just about this far from your mouth. It wants to be maybe like that, something 5 inches or so. It's about where you want to eat this mic. So I haven't really been using it properly, and I was checking out some of the VODs yesterday from day 2, and Kawa sounds like crystal clear with his beautiful mic, and I sound kind of like far away, man. Like, why are you casting from the kitchen, bro? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hook this bad boy up. Why I unhooked it was because actually it doesn't fit right on my desk, and the I don't know what the legs, I guess, that kind of come out like a little spoke get tangled up with my chair. So it's sort of every time I get up or move, I have to kind of readjust the whole setup. But regardless, audio quality should be a little bit better here on ZyoriTV while we have our setup like this. At least I should sound a little deeper, a little bassier, maybe even a little bit more clear. And it should also reduce some of that background noise, so when the spaniels go crazy, well, you might not even know about it. So anyway, looking at Dota 2, and oh, and by the way, this audio complements that 1080p quite nicely. I was looking at the VODs from yesterday, and I was like, wow, this sounds really good. This sounds just, it sounds really nice, it looks really nice. The one last step is to start working on filling the knowledge gap a little bit, and it's not as much a knowledge gap of talking about what I'm seeing, but the knowledge gap in just learning the Dota 2 metagame, which really just takes time. In Han, it took me about 5 months or so to really get a good understanding of the metagame, and notably it took me longer than it should have because I wasn't really trying to learn the metagame. It's like, oh, I'll just pick it up as I go along, you know. We were trying sort of a different angle, more entertainment based and sort of less knowledge based, so it's a little bit different from what we're doing here. But the moral of the story is I wasn't really trying to learn the Han metagame. Like, yeah, sure, I asked people questions, I picked up on stuff, I was learning in general, but I wasn't just like, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to study Han tonight, I need to learn this, and you just pick stuff up as you go along. I think yesterday it sort of shined. Day 1 we did pretty well. We got away with well, at the end of it, I felt good. I was like, you know, I really didn't make too many mistakes. I didn't ask any super stupid questions. That's really what gets you, is asking the questions that most of your audience already knows the answer to. For example, yesterday when Tiny was picked up, that was the first time I'd ever seen Tiny in a competitive game, which maybe shouldn't be announced, but what have you. I just, of the games that Kawa and I have casted randomly, and we've done quite a few, I just didn't get a replay with Tiny. That's really all it comes down to. So I asked, okay, what kind of role is he going to play? Where does Tiny fit into our current meta? And it was brought up, well, almost everyone in the audience knows that question. Tiny's been doing what Tiny's been doing for a really long time. They don't play him like they do in Han. He's not like a carry that's going to lane with, you know, some babysitter. He kind of plays that roaming support, more of like a tri-laney, supporty type hero a little bit. Of course, still has that snowball potential, but a little bit different. I mean, the Tiny we saw didn't even go Blink Dagger. He ended up going for the Drums of Endurance instead. So it's just a little bit different, and that's really where I kind of shoot myself, and I ask questions that to me are like, wow, this is really interesting. I know how a lot of people play Pebbles, but how do you guys play Tiny? And it's like, no, just shut the fuck up, man. Like, that's not something that we want to talk about because we've talked about this when it was news, like, you know, a year ago or whatever. So that's really the biggest problem, and I slipped up. I did say Wildsoul a couple of times instead of Lone Druid yesterday, but we saw Lone Druid in like every single game. I think he was in 3 out of 3, and I said Lone Druid quite a few times, but I think a Wildsoul or 2 slipped. And there was that whole thing about the Blink Dagger, can you port the bear back? The big difference between Wildsoul and Lone Druid is that Lone Druid can just summon a new bear at any point. You can be like, oh, you're weak, Spirit Bear, alright, hit the deck, or hit the deck, whatever. take a nap, I'm going to make a new one, and then he comes back at full health. So sometimes there are sticky situations where it looks like he's ported back, but really, Lone Druid just summons a new one. Wildsoul can't do that. He absolutely cannot summon a new bear unless his current bear is dead. He can't just bring a new one out of thin air that has full health. So it either dies or it only gets returned if its Blink Dagger effect cooldown is up. So that was where that source of confusion came on. When I asked Kawa, I was like, how did he get that bear out of there? Because I thought the Blink Dagger effect was the same thing in Dota 2. That was actually a change that Han copied from Dota 2, if I recall correctly. I'm not 100% on that, but that's the way I remember it at least. And it's a good change. I really like it. And I was like, wait a second. This hasn't been in Dota for a while. And then I saw the bear jump back after getting hit, and I'm like, Kawa, what the hell's going on here? I totally spaced on the, like, oh crap, Lone Druid can summon a new bear. So last night after that, I talked to a couple of people, and I was like, okay, alright, my bad. Alright, I'll try to tone it down a little bit. And then, of course, I queued up a few Lone Druid, or I think I played one Lone Druid game last night, and was like, alright, I got this on lockdown, I understand what's going on. He's the lone motherfucking Druid, no more Wildsoul. I think I have it on lockdown now. Other than that, though, the Dota 2's casting has been going pretty well. The viewership's been alright. My goal for day 1 was to break 2K, and I think we peaked around 2.4 or something like that. Concurrent viewers, that is. So, yeah, it was pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm really excited, though. The important part is it doesn't feel like work. It's still fun and exciting. I really like the assets that we got together. The production's been pretty solid. I like the tone of the imagery. Let's put it that way. I think it really just, it all works well together. It's very nicely themed for the content we're delivering, and it's been going quite well. Working with Kawa has been great so far. You know, he's a little bit of a newer caster. I think he's been casting for like 4 months, 3 months, something like that. But he really is eager to learn, and that's really the big thing. You know, there are a lot of casters that come in, they have a really cool voice, or, you know, they're in the right place at the right time, but the ones that stick around and last are those that are really just trying to learn, and the ones that feel bad when they make a mistake. You know, after the cast, when I say, you know, we always chat right after a match, you know, just to go over, okay, did I talk over you? Did I, you know, whatever, did you have a point you wanted to make? Just what do you think? Were you having an audio issue? Whatever. And, you know, the first thing out of his mouth is always, oh man, I screwed up this, or oh man, I totally spaced on this, and I looked it up and I should have remembered. You know, he has, like, it's incredible. Working with someone like that is really, really solid, because a lot of the people I've worked with in the past don't have that same drive, and it's frustrating when you have a similar drive like that and you're trying to work with people and they're like, yeah, it's not good. And I'm like, oh god, like, that's my biggest pet peeve, is when people, like, don't give me feedback. Like, if I write a paper and they say, hey mom, you want to read this? And she, like, you know, reads it in a few minutes and is, oh yeah, it's good, and doesn't make any corrections. I'm like, so you're telling me this thing is perfect? I wrote a first class paper. Like, no, this is a first draft. Like, come on, mock it up, do something. Like, tell me this paragraph sucks, do something to it. There's always ways to improve. I know this stream isn't perfect, so it's really nice to have someone that actually gives honest feedback, and we can both sort of be hard on ourselves together instead of being hard on each other, which is really pretty nice. It's a little bit harder when it's one-sided. It's like, all right, I'm the critic, and I'm being hard on myself and the other person, but people don't really seem to pick up on that you're being hard on yourself. It's like, oh, they're so mean. So regardless of the moral of that story, though, is things have been going very well. So of course, the Razer Mini Madness is going to continue. We are, like I said, casting today in about an hour or so, and we should have coverage for at least the next 2 days, Wednesday into Thursday, and I'm hoping it doesn't run late. So of course, one of the other things I wanted to talk about here is we have the Zyori Breakdown 24-hour marathon coming up. I'm going to be streaming all 20, or well, I guess there's 22 episodes of the breakdown back to back, so it's going to be much more than 24 hours. I think it's going to be closer to like 28 hours of nothing but Zyori Breakdown. Well, there will be some intermissions. I actually have a couple of fun, interesting things planned for in between. Every other game or so, I'm going to have some fun little video clips that we're going to play. But other than that, it's just going to be the Zyori Breakdown, all of them straight through, starting with episode 1, communication, and ending with the most recent. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of these things, there's a lot of great Han content there, and I'm looking forward to just doing it all in one fell swoop. It's going to work for any time zone. You can just pop in, turn it on. It's going to be like real TV here for like 28 hours at ZyoriTV. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be fun. I'm actually looking forward to being able to sit back and watch it. You know how long it's been since I watched like breakdown number 7? I don't know which one that is, you know? So it'll be cool for me to look back and be like, God, I sound like such an idiot. Like, oh God, my old glasses, because I got new glasses about halfway through the Zyori Breakdown series, right? I'm pretty sure episode 6 I got new specs. There was like episode number 5 or something like that. I like had to delay because I was at the eye doctor and I couldn't see the computer screen. I couldn't focus, and like It's so weird seeing me with old glass. It totally changes your image. Like, they're like wireframing. They're just completely different. So the first 7 episodes or so is just going to be a lol fest. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So look forward to that, guys. The event is on the ZyoriTV calendar, and there is a banner up on the site talking about it as well. So other than that, I don't really have too much. I guess the last thing that I'll say is there is a Han tourney coming up this weekend. I believe it begins on, let me just get the date here, the 17th is the Friday, so it's going to start on the 18th. We had to schedule around Dream Han, so it is going to be early morning. It starts at like 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, and then 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. So that's going to be the schedule. Of course, it's all on itsgosu.com. It's one of the It's Gosu. August opens, and the weekend after that, again, I will be at MLG Raleigh. And there's going to be plenty more. I think the next vlog we talk about is going to be all about MLG Raleigh. I actually have some cool stuff lined up. I'm going to be interviewing Team Quantic, their StarCraft division. They have a whole nice setup there, and I'm going to be doing some interviews. It's Gosu, and hopefully to interview some League players as well. So a lot of video content is going to come out of MLG Raleigh. So we'll talk about all that, the plan, and what you guys can expect and look forward to coming up next week. So until then, hopefully you guys join us over on the It's Gosu Dota 2 channel over on Owned 3D and enjoy some Razer Mini Madness. But until the next vlog, guys, take care.